Hello, it's Scott Manley here, and I decided after last week's 5-part challenge rocket that I would continue doing the weekly Reddit challenges on video because, they're great for ideas for things to do. So this week's challenge is the Staging Mishap. I have to have a rocket which deploys at least three radial parachutes below 250 meters, and then I continue on to orbit without cutting these. So I have to think about the problem in question, but I'm gonna start out. There is a harder mode, but I'm gonna start with the regular mode first because, the 5-part rocket was actually pretty obvious based on previous experimentation. This one is less so, so I'm gonna start with more or less a standard rocket here and figure out how I can improve it for the interplanetary version. The harder version is that once you have escaped into orbit, you must then travel to another planet and land on that planet. That planet has to have an atmosphere. So when I say planet, it also includes the moon Lathe. But the obvious target for that would be Duna, since it's very close in terms of delta V, and because it has the thinnest atmosphere. So I'm figuring that anybody that does the hard challenge will be going to Duna. Anyway, I'm going to be building this. So thinking about the rocket design, we want to have a relatively solid core up the middle, and I think I want to make it long, right? We're just going to have this nice and long down here, and then we'll have like main engines on here. I guess this is... which one? We have this one will probably be my core. We don't want ridiculous amounts of power here, right? What we probably do want is external tanks feeding into the middle that we can ditch, and we probably want to have jet engines. So however, my point about this was that I want to put the parachutes on here. Now the parachutes says at least 3. Well, I'm going to go for exactly 3. I'm going to put them as far back as possible so that at least my rocket is stable somewhat. It doesn't want to flip around under the force of the parachutes. Anyway, we're going to build out some external engines here. Now, those will do. Going to make sure the parachutes are early in the staging cycle as well. That'll be important. And that engine will fire before those parachutes actually. We'll get a couple of seconds of that. I reckon... I'm thinking that this should be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. But I figure 3 jet engines should probably get me enough thrust to keep me going, so we'll just have like external engines. Where is my external fuel tank? There we go. 3 of these, and it doesn't want to do this probably because this is in the way. Try again. Yes, there we go. Nice. Okay, and since we have tons of room here, I wonder if I can actually get away with like extra air intakes. Bicoupler time. Bicoupler, maybe tricoupler. Well, I figure a bicoupler is the way to go. Oh no, come on, get on there. Well, they're kind of not straight, but it'll probably work fine. Seriously, how bad can it be? So we'll stick some of these on. So that'll give me plenty of fuel to my turbojets. Shall use turbojets. We don't need to feed fuel inwards, I guess. We just need to fly 3 of these, fire these up, and then once we're launched, we deploy these, and this should more or less work, right? What does it say? It must deployed. I need to get into... oh, so I just need to get into orbit like this. Okay, so this is my first guess. I'm going to put some launch clamps on it, because I figure those will make me more stabler. So we'll need to fire these at the same time as we fire the jet engines. Actually, no, we'll need to fire these a few seconds after we fire the jet engines. Then we need to fire those. And yeah, this is totally going to work. Okay, so Reddit attempt 1. Reddit 1. And I figured that if I do look at this for another planet, I will probably build a completely new rocket. I'm just trying to come up with a small, simple rocket that everyone can fly that should be able to perform this challenge. So, first thing is throttle up. There we get the engines firing up. I'm going to wait until we're relatively near full power before I let this go. Thrust is... There's 100. Okay, 100. Now, before 250 meters, I want to deploy these. So I'm going to wait as long as possible and deploy. Okay, so now we have parachutes running. And, oh boy, this is flying really slowly. Despite... and actually, it just wants to fall over. Okay, well, so much for that plan. That didn't work too well, did it? I thought that was a sure bet. Okay, I can't get out of this. What do I do? I guess I could fire this. No! Deploy shoot! No, that did not work too well. Okay. I was actually quite... That's a rather neat monument. I shall make sure I do not end flight and leave that there. Vehicle assembly only. Okay. So why did that thing fall over? That's what I don't get. These things... Maybe if I move these engines forward, right, so that they're firing... Okay. Important will probably be to have some aerodynamic surfaces to maybe give me some more control to make sure I can keep flying straight, right? There. And then I will take these. No, I said I will take these and not the rest of the spacecraft. Just this. Damn it. Give me this. Okay. And we'll shift those further ahead so that they're almost positively, definitely in front of these parachutes. Okay. Let's try saving this. We'll call this Reddit 2. You see, many of these videos, they don't magically come out, you know, fully formed. They sometimes take a few iterations to happen. And therein lies the comedy of Kerbal space program. You know, I'm not some crazy savant who can magically make all this stuff just work. I have to guess. Okay. Energy engines firing. Where do I see that other rocket around? No, my monument was removed. That's a shame because I really like that. Okay, fire this. Now once again, we're going to wait until we're up to... We'll fire these. Now, let's see if we can keep this going straight now. Why does it want to turn over? This is what I'm not getting. What is making this turn? Why? It just, like, seems to pull it the wrong way. Okay, let's see if I can decouple. Come on. Hey, it landed perfectly. No, it didn't. Oh, this is marvelous. This is really far better. This is far more humorous than I thought it would be. Maybe we need some like extra thrust or something going on here. Let's go back to the vehicle assembly building and see what I can do. Well, obvious first attempt is to just like stick some big ass, you know, solid rocket boosters on underneath and hope that those overpower the deceleration we're gonna get from these parachutes. Or maybe we just need more engines. Maybe I need to go straight to the Rockamax. I thought that the force that these things would resist would be sufficient to get me, would be sufficient that I'd be able to overcome the problems. Okay, so we get that. We'll fire those at the same time. Let's call this Reddit 3. Save. See, I thought that at least it would be able to stand vertically on these three engines. It would slow them down, but it would otherwise get itself into orbit. Okay. Fire engines. How are we doing? We're going to wait up to get up to 100, 100, 100, 100. Excellent. Okay, now we're firing these, and we're going to deploy the chutes. Oh! Okay. No, 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 no. Why does this not want to... Why does it not want to turn? I don't get it. Okay, Even Jebediah can't escape that. Oh, dear. So how much thrust does it take to keep going vertically? Okay, let's go back and see if maybe we can double up the engines on this thing here, right? Maybe we can actually use the bicoupler to double up our rocket, our engines, our jet engines, right? And by doing so, if we have double the thrust, then maybe that will be sufficient. Next, we want to rotate these things just a bit. How does that look? That's close enough. I mean, again, how bad could it be? And of course it's faster to duplicate a part using the Alt key sometimes. Okay, no, it doesn't want to do that. Come on. I know you want to connect. Connect for me. There, thank you. Okay, so we're going to fire all these at the same time. Now, save. Should I have struts on this thing? I don't know. I gotta carry the parachutes into orbit. This is the thing. Otherwise, you would obviously just ditch them. Clear the launch pad and proceed. Now maybe this might not be such a good idea having the giant solid rocket booster on there, but I believe the comedy possibilities are strong with this one. Come on, 100. Excellent. And we're going up. And we're deploying chutes. Hey, this is still flying. And so are those jet engines. So are the wings. Hey, nice. I like how they all seem to have lost exactly one of these. Jebediah, of course, is nowhere to be seen. Okay, and flight, vehicle assembly building. We want to ditch this thing beforehand. This solid rocket booster idea is just stupid. Just totally stupid, seriously. Just utterly stupid. Maybe I should make some space for some RCS, right? And what do we have? RCS tanks. Wherefore art thou RCS? No, I don't want that one. I mean, might need that one, but we're going to start going easy. And then we'll stick some reaction control thrusters, which are these. We'll just do it. We'll do actually 2 groups of 4 because I suspect that I need the extra power to counteract the torque. Okay, launch. I'm also not getting, like, we have this thing pivoting at the back and the force is sitting ahead of it. So naively, I'm feeling that this thing should at least somewhat want to keep going forwards, but maybe I'm completely misunderstanding myself. This may be another version of the pendulum fallacy, which I myself condemn people for all the time. There we go. Go. Okay, heading upwards and deploying chutes now. Okay, come on. Stay. These things just want to turn over. Now turn on RCS. It doesn't want to work. Okay, decouple. Maybe this one will survive. No! Yay! Oh, but it's Lobus! What happened to Jebediah? That's not cool. This thing will probably just crash into the ground. But he's quite happy to have escaped. Assuming he doesn't land and get cooked or something on these. Yeah, that's not so bad. It looks like a little castle, doesn't it? It's like the castle of Kerbal Dur. With the all-seeing rocket motor sitting up high, firing its beacon into the sky. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go and do something bigger. More bigger. Actually, maybe. Space Center, okay. This is a conundrum. How do I? Maybe, okay, let's just be like completely experimental and say, what happens if these jet engines are like out way the F forward, right? So this is absolutely pushing up here. I think this is another version of the pendulum rocket, right? Where we're not really getting enough thrust. Maybe, actually maybe, right, look, if we stick these here, okay, actually, if we stick these here, I wonder if I can duplicate a bunch of these to get more control. Okay, if we duplicate those, and we'll stick some of these on the side here, because why the hell not? Actually, I'll tell you why the hell not, because this will kill me, because they are sitting too far forward relative to the center of mass. Maybe I should just, like, double these things up next to each other. If I have enough of these, maybe I can have enough control to keep me moving forwards during this critical period. Okay. And maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll just stick a straight up SAS unit in here. Advanced SAS. Is it the advanced? I think yeah, advanced SAS. Okay, how bad could this be? Save. Launch! I'm just for giving up on the straight up numbering. It's fun to try and build these things. Especially since, you know, exploding is fun. I do think I'm really embarrassing myself with this whole design. I mean, if I put the put the parachutes forward, at least it'll land the correct way. That might actually be the better option. Parachutes TR. Okay, you see, I'm using everything, and it does not want to stay going straight. This is a problem. This is a problem. There, at least I can ditch that. Nice! That actually worked pretty well. And these guys will go down. Okay. So, alternatively, maybe I have too much thrust? I don't know, I'm going to have to think somewhat. Come down. What should I do? Maybe, yeah, I think we've spent too much time with these little ones. We need to go to the big ass ones, right? Big is the way to go. We're going to start with a small capsule, of course. Okay, so space center. So we have this. I'm going to ditch the rest of this rocket for now. Ditch. And I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Ditch. Sure, ditch. Okay. So we need the adapter here. And we could probably put our parachutes on that this time. Since that doesn't actually seem to matter too much. If we stick them here, we might have a little more control. So that's only one. Now I need 3, sir. Thank you. Now let's do the usual giant Rockamax tanks under here. And we'll use these new, the skippers. We'll stick one of these in here. Come on. Okay, skipper. And maybe I should go for asparagus staging, but right now, honestly, I'm just trying to get it to fly straight. Okay, 6 of these suckers around the outside. All the rocket fuel goes out round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. All the orange tanks skip around the outside. Around the outside, and I don't think that's actually attached to... It's so hard to see whether this is attached to what I want it to be attached to. That looks like it's attached, but it's still hard. Damn it. It's off center again. Okay, hold on. Right, get in under there. Get straight, darn it. Is that right? That looks like... Okay, I'm going to go with that. And we'll put the skippers. I would like to use the new skippers. And maybe we'll strap some extra boosters around there just for good measure. Where do we have the externals? Externalize for great power. Okay. There we go. Where are my boosters? More boosters! More boosters! Okay, so I'm gonna fire these. I'm gonna fire everything at the same time. This is my cunning plan. And then, of course, the next thing we want to do is fire these parachutes. Well, we don't want to do it, but that's the staging malfunction that we have to deal with. I wonder if it's within the rules to have a Kerbal, like, kind of get out of the capsule and Nah, it's probably against the rules. Okay, and then hopefully these things will be ditched and we'll have some control. Okay, so can I put some more thingy controls here? Winglets, 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 winglets. Wait, are these the steerable ones? Yes, it's an active control winglet. Okay. Ah! What the... Control Z, damn it. Thank you. Gosh, some of these days you really, really annoy me. And it didn't want to keep my aerofoil attached. I guess the thing that's remaining here is to add some structural items to support my entire endeavor. Okay. Well, how bad could this be? Other than utterly terrible. Save. Launch! Clear the launch pad and proceed. Yes, sir. We are going to go for orbit. There will be nothing to stop us this time. Our plan is flawless, other than the fact that we have 3 parachutes, which will destroy it and deploy at an inopportune time. But other than that, I'm sure everything will be fine. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, now we got to deploy at 200 meters. Whoa! I think that needs more struts. Those parachutes are actually pretty good. Now, if I deployed them above 200 meters, I could probably manage a little better. Maybe it's the 250 meters that's the hard part. Maybe I should just stick them on like a really, really, really long cable. Maybe I could just cheat and have the front of the rocket at... Well, that would be an idea. If I put them on a really, really, really long thing, then the capsule would be at 250 meters. But the rest of the rocket, or the parachutes, could actually be above that magic 500 meters. That would be a really, really tall rocket, though. Okay, let's put some more struts on this thing. Vehicle assembly building. Vehicle assembly, vehicle disassembly. Okay, we're going to just have to strut this all over the joint. Strut, strut, strut. Strut your funky stuff. You dance thing, you. Okay, strut. And strut. And strut. Okay. That should explode less spectacularly this time. I hadn't thought this would be that hard until I realised about the 500 meter mark, to be honest. I thought this would be a cinch because I've flown things into orbit by accident with parachutes attached to them. But this is a whole separate level. Are we ready? Deploy! Parachutes out. And we're still stable. Oh yes! Oh yes, and we're above our 500 meter mark. Now, should I cut my thrust back a little? I think I'm going to cut back my thrust of my main engines for a while and see if that will let me get a little more control. I mean, really, I'm just trying to... Maybe I should have more... I don't know. I'm just worried about overdoing it. But I'm going to just hold this vertical mode, vertical style with the SAS. Because, of course, SAS is like an autopilot. It's cheating, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go to maximum thrust on my skippers. Doing good, doing good. 54. It's not really going that fast. So I think if I cut the thrust back, I'll get more mileage for my, you know, if I do 2/3 power, right? I'm not moving at 2/3 the speed, so I should actually last, you know, get further. And this is the balance I'm trying to strike. Nelfred, he actually looks like he's doing okay. 47 meters per second. This is a really, really, really slow ascent. Oh, you know what I've also realized is I have not used fuel pipes, so I should probably ditch this, shut down this engine for now. Okay, just going to use external engines. That way, at least when I ditch the externals, I'll have some fuel in the middle that I can still rely on. And I'm just holding this here, 52, 53 meters per second. It'll probably find the thrust to weight ratio is of course going upwards in its favour, and the atmosphere is fading away. If I can just keep going long enough, maybe I should go back and put some fuel pipes in. That might actually make the difference. Maybe add some more fuel. I'm not really sure just yet. But I think we are on to an excellent design which may get us all the way to the end of this challenge. Although, to be fair, I think that looking at the numbers now, I think I'm going to run out of fuel before I get where I need to be. I may not actually get into orbit. Oh well, we'll find out. 80... Look, we're almost doing 100 meters per second with those engines, with those parachutes deployed. And we're about to pass the 10 kilometer mark. Nothing is going to stop us except fuel running out. And you know, we've had fuel run out before. It's not that bad. 100 meters per second. And we'll probably just go and readjust all this later. Apparently there is an issue where the wrong textures have been used for orbits, and we've got half-scale textures when we wanted full-scale textures. That's unfortunate, but I guess it will be fixed. Incidentally, if you're finding your textures from orbit are not quite as pretty as they once were, that is a legitimate bug, which will hopefully be fixed at some point. Okay, and how are we doing? Oh! Nice! I did not expect that to happen. Okay, let's go back. That was actually doing pretty well, but I think we need some more work. Maybe some more fuel in those externals. I guess what I could do is just attach new fuel tanks underneath here. Fuel tank, fuel tank, fuel tank, fuel tank. I don't get, why did it just like disintegrate like that? That doesn't actually make that much sense to me. Okay, so we've got this. We'll put the skippers on around the outside. And then, more importantly, we need to have fuel lines running inwards so that the middle engine can fire. And we can keep firing it when the fuel runs out. So where we've got fuel engine. There we go. Okay. Now this has to work. This totally has to work. Come on. In here, and then just run it inwards. Okay. So this is it. This is the one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to save it as red at 4. Save. Launch. I mean, I'm not going to asparagus stage this because really I think that we probably have more than enough here, and it's not going to really buy us that much. I could probably put like a little thing on top. Oh, look at that. That's kind of wobbly. Okay, ready? Okay, I'm just going to leave it and see how it does. Obzor. Oh, shit, quick. Yes, parachutes deployed. I think they deployed before 250 meters. No, they are. I was really cutting it fine, but nevertheless, we know this is. Ooh, this is kind of wobbling a bit. 52 meters per second. Do I back off a little? I'll back off just a bit because saving that fuel for later is a good idea. What is that down? Is that the same kind of engine down the middle? It is. It just looks whiter and hotter and more awesome or more obsas or... Okay, ditch this and then maximize my thrust. Or maybe not, maybe I'll just keep it backed off. As long as I'm doing... Yeah, okay. So that... I don't want to do this too fast. This is where it will be nice to have actual physical acceleration enabled. I'm not actually aware of any real spacecraft that had parachute deployment issues like this, but the thing is, with a real spacecraft, the parachute would probably be burned by the whole exhaust. The parachute issue was a big problem for the Ares. Now, if you remember, the Ares was supposed to be a replacement for the space shuttle, and the idea was you would take one of the space shuttle's solid rocket boosters, add an extra segment to it, and then on top of that you would sit essentially an upper stage centaur and a crew capsule and things like that. And the big problem with this would be the Orion crew capsule, was that if they had to perform an abort, then they would be falling through the clouds of exhaust from the external, from the solid rocket booster. And the thing with solid rocket boosters, because it's a grain, the fuel doesn't burn up completely as quickly as you would find with, say, a regular, chemical engine, where the fuel is almost completely burned before it leaves the exhaust. I mean, obviously, there's some subtle tricks, like many rocket engines will actually have a fuel-rich sheath around the exterior so that the bell, the nozzle, isn't corroded as quickly. They favour fuel over oxidizer. But the point is that that stuff is pretty much burned by the time it leaves. Whereas with a solid rocket booster, you've got these like little burning granules of fuel falling through the sky, and if you have to abort in your capsule and then deploy your parachutes, and then you're falling through this, you're doomed, because it just takes a few of these granules to, land on your parachute, set it on fire, and that is it. It's going to disintegrate. It's going to catch fire, and you are gone. Okay, but I am almost gone out of the atmosphere. I'm just going to see... I guess I'll just click on this and ditch the tank as soon as we run out. These skippers, I wonder, they seem quite efficient, I believe. Ready, steady, go! What the deuce? Is this a completely different staging problem? Okay. That seemed to be so... Okay. What am I missing here? Vehicle... restart flight. Is my staging broken? Okay. I'm going to ditch this, then we're going to ditch this, right? That makes total sense. Why are these engines still firing? Why would these engines... Right, that ditches those, right? And then this is... Oh, wait a second. No, these are on this core. Why is this happening to me? Not cool. Okay, let's put Separatrons on. Separatrons always make things more cool. Maybe they're just too darn close for their own good. You see, some people think that a lot of my stuff just like comes out working 100%, and obviously that isn't the case, because I'm not that smart. I have a lot of clues and ideas and things I like to talk about, but I'm not smart enough to fully solve these challenges on day one. Oh, I like the look of those, actually. Okay, what stage? Oh, these are on totally the wrong stage. These need to go on this stage. And that's more of these. On this stage. And where are we? There, that's it. That one goes on this stage. Come on, this has to work. I'm really struggling to figure why these tanks would fly. Oh, these tanks would fly forwards because... Okay, so what's happening is, as soon as these engines cut out, the parachutes are slowing the thing down so much that these things want to fly forward. So what I need to do... Oh, how do I do this? I need to wait until my acceleration slows down. That's what I need to do. Okay. Because what's happening is these things are slowing down and they're just smashing and causing all sorts of problems. So maybe the Separatrons will actually help get them clear. Or something. I don't know. Regardless, we are going up again. And there will be nothing to stop us this time. I'm sure I've said that before, but this time I really mean it. Okay, 70% thrust. That shall be comfortable for getting us through the first steps of this voyage to the stars. Oh crap, and I forgot to actually fire the parachutes. Let's go back again. Restart flight. Press space twice. That was looking rather well, wasn't it? Okay, let's do 50% thrust. There we go. I'll actually do more. And ready, steady, deploy. Oh, crap. Oh, yes, I need this stabilizer. Okay, these things are not working. At least this is falling backwards now. I wonder how this is going to work. I'm really curious. Oh! Is he still... No! How could he die? Come on! Restart flight once again. Okay. Okay, this time. I feel like I'm the Spanish Inquisition. That's a Monty Python reference, obviously. Didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Three weapons are surprise. Whatever, never mind, you don't know it. Okay, and deploy. Okay, now let's throttle back on the skippers. Aye, aye, skipper. Skipper. Skipper, of course, apparently is like Barbie's little sister or something as well. I found out, apparently. Not that Barbie is cool or anything anymore. It never was cool, but apparently little girls now like other things like Monster High and American Girl. God, it's terrible. It's just a wasteland of pointless play. Okay, now we are picking up some speed. Let me cut my thrust back a little more. And there, drop that. Yeah, so I think what I could do, right, is as I'm starting to reach this magic moment when I'm about to lose all my... when I'm about to run out of fuel, I can throttle back, let the thing build up to some kind of equilibrium, and then throttle up again, so hopefully I'll be much closer to my, final acceleration or whatever. Okay, let's just leave it around there right now. And what other stories can we tell? We talked about how parachutes from the the Orion, from the Ares launcher just would be bad because of the whole falling through your own sparkling exhaust would be deadly. This is using solid rocket boosters as major parts of launch systems has that risk, because if you end up aborting, you're going to fall through that. So the space shuttle obviously uses them because it has the space shuttle had an orbiter, it had wings, and so it never relied on parachutes. It relied on actual hard aerodynamic surfaces. It could perform an abort at all sorts of stages and come out fine. Obviously, none of those were ever actually happened, but they were there as possibilities. Okay, we're coming up. Look at these things flopping around like jellyfish, and we're actually getting some real speed out of it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, which one? Wait a second, this tank's running down? This tank's running down. Because this one is being drained into the middle. Okay. Well, it should go just fine. So. Come on, let me get up to 100 meters per second. Actually, maybe I'll slow down just a little bit more. We're still at 70, almost 80% atmospheric pressure, right? Therefore, 80% atmospheric drag. Once I get high enough, I can just like go sideways like the clappers, and hopefully I'll have enough fuel reserves to get into orbit. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to build something that will be able to go to other planets. Although I don't doubt that people will manage it. I'm just going to do it this far, and then maybe if I can get this up, that'll be this video, and I will feel unashamed to have completed at least this much of the project. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is throttle back, right? Let the velocity bleed off a little. So I'm going to be running at about 1/6 thrust. Hopefully... Okay, I'm actually going to be going there. Yes, we want to keep going. And then... We're still going upwards, that's the good thing. So we're about to run out, and then when we run out, we're going to go to 100% thrust. And when our acceleration goes back to 1g, right? And hopefully it will go back to 1g. Hopefully we won't fall down. Come on! Come on! You can do it! You can do it! Okay, I'm going to ditch these. Yes! Excellent! Now I can actually go upwards again. Those things are falling like some crazy falling things. Now... Dare I... I'm not going to go sideways yet. I don't dare do that just yet. I don't know how high I have to get before I can really rely on these things working well. But look, we've made it through the hardest bit. The question is, do I have enough delta V in that stage to circularize my orbit? And honestly, that I can't answer. I could probably do a mental calculation, but... I figure we'll just. I don't know what the deceleration is on this. Oh, I've got this far. I've got this far. Do I really wanna ruin it by starting to go sideways too soon? No. Okay. Yes, that happens. Bollocks. 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 Arse. Bollocks. There, come on! No, 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 no. Up there, that's the way you want to go. That way, that way, that way, that way. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, 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 lovely, lovely, lovely. Maybe I should put those parachutes back to the bottom. What? Apparently, this is not gonna work. Okay. I think I'm onto a good thing here, but you know what? I am gonna maybe give these things just a bit more oomph early on. These are fine. What could I do to give these more? I mean, I could strap on more fuel tanks here, like another little one. I could strap another little fuel tank into the middle, but I suspect I'm going to need that. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is why how you'll know that this one is actually recorded live. Oh crap! Oh crap! There we go. Okay, okay. How hard can this be? This can be terribly hard, can't it? Save and launch. Okay, this time I'm not going to turn until I'm above, like, I don't know, 40 kilometers. I don't know. Maybe I'll just. God, this is really. This is looking like an ugly rocket. Okay, launch. Oh, it's just about moving, and then 250 meters. No. Okay, now we'll cut back on our thrust a little. But we're okay. Obzor is just going to sit there and relax and get into the flight while we decide to warn him about the dangers of turning or attempting to turn, turning off the autopilot, adjusting the throttle too much, or Obzor, just don't touch anything You got it, right? Yeah, you're raring to go. You totally understand what is at stake here. I wonder if we'll get like re-entry flares. Okay, solid rockets ditched. Now we need to get that thrust up again. And I think we're just going to hang out with this thrust around 36, 35, 36. I don't know, this will work. Okay. Those parachutes, because they're fully deployed, their drag is much higher, right? If you deploy them at above, 500-600 meters, then they will be there, but they will have less drag. But in fully deployed form, they are a pox on your spacecraft. They are just horrible. They're adding like, I don't know, at 10 meters per second, not even at 10, at a few meters per second, they're generating a 1 ton of air resistance. So at 100, it's safe to say they're adding like an extra 100 tons probably to your spacecraft. And that's assuming that a squad are using a linear relationship between, velocity and drag. I don't know for sure. Somebody has looked at the drag formula and basically says, well, everybody's looked at it and says that it's bogus. And funnily, I was looking on Kerbal Spaceport the other night at Ferrum's, they've updated Ferrum Aerospace Research Technologies. I just add the technologies as a joke, seriously. No, they have updated it for 0.20, so you can explodify and crashify your things in there. But I noticed that he also put up like a test plugin that was basically to show that, shader, whatever, line of sight based drag equations were completely bogus. So he actually created a mod to show that the idea that people keeps telling him to use like essentially the re-entry shader technique to calculate drag, and he keeps telling them this is a silly idea, but apparently he put together an entire mod to explain to people why this is a bad idea, and I'm quite impressed. It sounds like something I would do, like make a whole video to explain why, the pendulum effect is a fallacy, right? Okay, we're up above 10 kilometers. Come on. Just keep going. Don't wobble too much. Don't wobble too much. And I don't know, should I go for a proper ditch this time? I'm gonna throttle back. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, this is like landing on the moon all over again without the save file. You're kind of like, I'm not sure. Should I do this? I might ruin something. I don't know. Help me. Well, when this gets to 0, we shall find out. At least we shall have the Sepatrons ready to push these things clear. I'm gonna run this at lower and lower thrust. Okay, so now 100% thrust on the middle there. Keep straight, but you see that my gravity is very low because I'm decelerating. Now the question is, when do I pull the switch and ditch those external engines? 60, 50... At least I'm going upwards. 20 meters per second. If it... 33, 32... I think we're getting very close, so I'm going to ditch it. Excellent! Okay. We are free to navigate. Now, hopefully, no idiot will try to steer before it is opportunistically ideal. At some point, I'm going to start having to look at the map and figure out if I can get this thing to orbit. Maybe I should have had an extra stage in there. Okay. How are we doing? Our apoapse is 25 kilometers. At least we'll be able to get to space at this rate. Again, the question is now, do I have enough fuel to make it into orbit? Those parachutes seem to be providing slightly less resistance now. Although I'm still not managing nearly close to my thrust to weight ratio. 270, 280... Come on. Do these things actually evaporate when I get into orbit, or do they just hang out all the way up? Okay. Says 43 seconds. Okay, so now... Oh, do I turn this off now? Okay, I'm going to start... Oh, no! Crap. No! 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 Come on! Fire! Get me some velocity upwards, sir! No! Wrong button. Yes! No. No! Come on! Thrust! Come on, sir! Come on! Come on, you can do it! Come on! There! At least the torque on this thing is now able to at least counteract gravity. Okay. 80 kilometers up. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna cut my thrust now. Okay, let's see what happens. And this thing comes down, but you know, I am actually free of the atmosphere, more or less. Let's try and put this thing more or less sideways. And start to thrust! See if I can get it up anywhere near orbital velocity. My orbital velocity actually is 800 meters per second, but it's mostly vertical. Yes! Look at it! Dragging those parachutes behind it. Come on, I know you can do it. Yes! Am I gonna do it? Or is it gonna run out of... It's gonna run out of fuel first. It's totally gonna run out of fuel. No! No, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Oh! Ah! Man, that sucks. Obzor! Well, at least... I wonder if this thing will land just fine. Okay, cannot warp while throttled up. Okay. There we go, 50,000. At least this thing will just have, like, built-in landing parachutes, right? Although I wonder... Nice. Okay, just accelerate. Time, accelerate. This will, of course, make me invulnerable to all the problems of, you know, re-entry heat and all that. Okay, I'm already... like, I'm already down to a couple of 100 meters per second. These are... God! This is an evil challenge! This is an evil challenge. Okay, I reckon I was almost there, right? So I'm going to end flight, vehicle assembly building. I think we're so close to making this work. Maybe I need just an extra bit of fuel in the middle there, and that's actually going to be quite hard to put in. But if I have an extra tank in here, then... Oh, come on. Get in there, and I can't see where this tank... You know what? Okay, you... How do I get this in here? No, if I go right in the middle there... No, it doesn't want to. Is that attached? Is that legit? It looks totally legit. Okay. Now, skipper in there. Skipper. Okay. This has got to be it, right? This has got to be it, because I'm not going to turn this time. I know. I just know it. Reddit for reals. Save. Launch. Clear the launch pad and proceed, and head into the orbits which will give me a new appreciation for parachutes. Okay, just wobble around there like a giant jellyfish, why don't you? Ready? Barely moving, ready to deploy parachutes, and mark. Okay, parachutes deployed. No, it's slowing us down. But we shall endeavor, we shall continue onwards. We shall fight these parachutes. We shall fight them in the air. We shall fight them on the beaches. We shall... Well, actually, they're helping us, really, when we're crashing. But no, we shall not tolerate this behavior from our parachutes. They shall remain packed until we tell them to deploy. Oh, Obzar, you told them to deploy. That was a great plan, sir. You understand the mission profile was like to get into space. You just really like having parachutes, because you don't like crying. Wait, I'm starting to sound a little weird. Huh? Talking to myself. Okay. We'll just keep this thrust a little lower and watch ourselves ascend upwards. I'm starting to think maybe I need more fuel, but I don't know. Or maybe again I should just put those parachutes lower down. I kind of like them where they are. Maybe my original pendulum effect concept was completely valid. Okay, now we're picking up speed. We'll just keep backing off the throttle slowly by slowly, bit by bit. We shall be ready for when we are able to move with full expediency into our destiny in the outer reaches of Kerbal space. Yes, Obzar, I know, you're eating your snacks. How do you eat snacks with your helmet on? You don't know. Never mind. Oh, that's us up to 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers high, flying to the Kerbal sky. We've got parachutes deployed, and mission controls feeling annoyed. They say, why'd you push that button there? It's messing things up, we ain't going nowhere. I don't know, I'm making this stuff up as I go along, seriously. I should have just done this as a proper live stream, shouldn't I? Well, anyway, 8500. This is what happens when you actually try to do things in one take. You end up filling it full of pointless crap. But that does seem to have some popularity these days, doesn't it? Anyway, up above 10 kilometers. We are going places. Which one is it? This is the one to watch now. We want to keep our... I don't know. We want to just keep our velocity just low enough that we're still working on it. I'm just backing off my velocity because I know that the moment that fuel runs out, I will be decelerating and having to, you know, make advantage or try to figure out when I can ditch these things. That's right. Conserve that fuel to keep me going as far as I can. 120 meters per second shall be the speed when I ditch everything. Full thrust now! Okay, now we're gonna slow. No! No! That's not fair! No! Come on! That was working so well! That was working so well! Come on! What are you doing to me, guys? What are you doing? Up! Up is the way to go! No, not down! Up! Up! How could you do that to me? Everything else had been working so well, and then you just trash my great plan. Dude. Oh, man. Sometimes, I don't want to give up, but I'm so close. Okay. Come on, stay on that vector. Stay on it, right? Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Come on. Okay, we're up to... No! Come on! Okay. Come on! Okay. Arrgh. Vehicle assembly building. Okay, you know what? I think the whole idea to add extra fuel to this core stage, bogus. Right, let's get rid of that. Put this back in here. Instead, we should add the extra fuel to those external stages, right? That'll give us a little more endurance. And that's really where most of our problems are coming from. Now, I could add RCS here as a kind of, emergency thing, I guess. Maybe I should think about adding some RCS engines, like around this. 3, 4, okay. RCS, I could stick them here, there. And we'll just stick like a few RCS tanks around just to make sure that we're ready to deal with it when it happens. Or I'll just stick one tank there. Tank. We shouldn't need it. Where did I put the darn RCS tanks? Thank you. In there. Of course, if I then put another little stage there, maybe that's the plan that I should use, is to have like a final booster stage that gets me into orbit. I like having this big rocket attached, though. I reckon I'll just go with this. I mean, it has to work sometime, right? For reals, really. Oh, man. This is almost as bad as the Sepatron rocket. Clear the launch pad and proceed. Yes, proceed, but proceed where? Are we going to get to space this time? Hell yes. Go on, we know, we're going into space. I swear. I swear we have space on our destinations list. Ready? Go! Oh, dear. Come on. Stay straight. Straight and true. Parachute deployed. Okay, now I'm gonna deal with it. And now I'm gonna need to find something else to talk about. Yes, because that's what I do. Yeah. So, yeah. Actually, yeah, a lot of people ask me what my computer specs are. And my computer specs are actually detailed in a video that I did a while back. I made a video when I built my computer showing the hardware that I have. I basically have 16 gigs of memory. It's an Intel i5 3570K. I have yet to actually mess around with overclocking, which is shameful given my hacker pedigree, but I have not really done much in the way of overclocking with this thing. I have about 8 terabytes of disk space now. There is an SSD that I use as a system cache because the SSD previously failed with the OS partition in it. So, yeah, I mostly use it for for system cache, and I put a Kerbal Space Program on there. Apparently, somebody said that it was trying to tell me I should put Kerbal Space Program on an SSD. I had missed that video, so yes. Kerbal Space Program is in fact on my SSD, which is only 128 gigs, but you only put the really high quality important stuff on it, like your Kerbal Space Program install. Yeah, everything else can go on the slow drive because you don't find yourself kind of shaking, desperate trying to get your Kerbal fixed. Oh, you do. I mean, that's the problem. You don't find yourself trying to get like a fix of EVE Online. No, you don't get withdrawal from that. But Kerbal, you're just like there saying, man, I need my fix. You're turning green with anticipation. Also, on a totally random aside, have people looked at the Kerbal store now? There are official Cafe Press, with shirts and mouse mats and caps, I think. But also, they are selling actual Kerbal figurines, and they're 3D printed on demand, and they have some sort of coloring process, which is pretty darn neat. You can have either Jeb, Bill, or Bob, and they're all basically sitting in their little control seat with their pedals, all going to space and being amazing and all that other stuff. Yes. How is this doing? Oh, look, we still have fuel in that tank. Still fuel in that tank. Wow, we are burning through this fuel surprisingly slowly. Have I broken something? Nope, everything just looks fine. Okay, well, let's just keep going straight. I'm just gonna try and not accelerate too quickly, because we know that we are working hard to counteract the force of those parachutes, which of course are aerodynamically completely inactive, but they shouldn't be working, but they are. Yeah, it does say that I have to have the parachutes go all the way into orbit, so I can't get a Kerbal out and cut those parachutes. That might be an interesting thing to do, though, is to have a Kerbal that gets out during the launch sequence and tries to cut the parachutes so that they can continue into orbit. Okay, that's done. Now we're burning into these tanks. I'm not getting... Why is this fuel tank burning and this one is burning faster? Why? How is that happening? There's some logic that I'm missing here. Okay, let's cut thrust back just a little more. I'm just going to keep cutting my thrust back, actually. 127. Because I know that as soon as this main engine deploys, I won't be going nearly as fast. Okay. This is getting... Well, we're getting a lot of mileage from these tanks. It's the bottom ones are going to go out first, huh? We're now running at like 50% thrust and we're up to 17, 18 kilometers. Not so bad. Okay. And are we ready for 100% thrust? Go! Okay. So now we're going to slow down. No! 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 Come on! Come on! Oh! 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 Why do you do this to me? Okay, come on up. Up, 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 up. I'm gonna go up. Oh, RCS! RCS! Maybe the RCS will help me. Come on, get on there. Get on there. Go upwards, 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 upwards. Ah, I should have deployed my RCS maybe in time. Why is this thing just like oscillating like a pig? It's like... okay. Time to put those... Okay, time to return to my original pendulum effect plan. That clearly is what I'm doing wrong. Put these down here. And now I gotta figure out where to put them. Gotta get them in there. And I gotta make sure it says 3. Okay. Now, my theory is that by moving them further back, the oscillations will be less. Let's see how that works. Clear the launch pad. This is just like an epic video of Scott, me, basically just failing and failing and failing and failing. But I'm enjoying it, you know. As I'm not infallible, I never believe that I'm infallible. This is a very silly challenge and very silly game. Okay, I deployed those a little early. They're now going to be basking in the glow of their rocket motors for most of the entire flight. These are clearly not made of the same material they were speccing for the Orion crew capsule. No, they are made of some super asbestos fiber, which will not only resist the fire of the rockets, but it will let it pass straight through and let the thrust be applied unimpeded to the vessel. Which can't be a bad thing at all, eh? Okay, solid fuel almost wearing out, and maximum thrust, ditch these. There we go. And yeah, another long, long, long journey. Off into infinity. Not. Maybe it'll be off into spinning and crashing and blowing things up again. Ah, yes. Okay. Aha, interesting. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I'm looking around through my books to try and find something interesting to talk about. And I found the Scottish quiz book. And that's not really the best thing. But hey, because I only know so much about Scottish quizzy type things. Okay. 3.6. Really what we're doing is we're putting on an extra show for the people on the ground so they can see us for longer. Those traditional rockets, they kind of get up into space far too fast, and the people on the ground, they don't have enough time to pose and take photographs. So by deploying these parachutes, it will let us, show off the spacecraft for all those crazy slow motion shots. It'll let people like get the whole family in the shot at the same time, right? The whole Kerbal family. Yes. Jebediah, Jemima, and little Bobby. Maybe not. I have no idea. We still haven't seen any of the Kerbettes, but I'm hoping we will someday. What we have seen is male Kerbals wearing lipstick. Like, the bone structure's the same, right? Okay. 6,500, 67, 68... 69, 7 kilometers! 7 kilometers, which would be roughly 24,000 feet. We're getting up to the altitude that airliners fly at, maybe 8 kilometers or more. 8 kilometers being, of course, the scale height of the Earth's atmosphere, roughly. The scale height of the Earth's atmosphere, I believe, is about 8 kilometers. That means that it decreases by a factor of e being the natural logarithm, and it's a logarithmic decay, so it's natural to express it in terms of logarithms. Half-life is kind of like a similar thing. It's a logarithmic decay, but instead they use the factor of 2 instead of a factor of e. Incidentally, I've really been thinking that I'd like to play Half-Life, because I was playing that for the trading card beta thing. And I realized, I've always liked Gordon Freeman, he's a physicist, and he kicks ass. And, if I'm going to identify with any FPS character, it's going to be Gordon Freeman, because he's a physicist. And, the problem is I don't really have, like, wise-ass kiss-off lines that physicists might say, Like, kick him off the wall and then say, haha, let me tell you about the law of gravity. No, okay. Never mind, let's keep going up. I'm just going to keep cutting back this thrust and hoping that I get some more life out of this. 120, now we're getting there. And 65, 68, 70. Ready. And I'm going to fire up the RCS now. Okay, and now we're getting slowed down, but at least we're pointing in the right direction. Okay. And what we want to do is wait for our velocity to not slow too much. 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey! Excellent! Excellent! 22 kilometers! Now we are on our way. We are on our way truly to higher ground. I am just going to leave the monoprop burning because maybe I should preserve some of it. I don't know. Move this back. We're a little more stable now. A lot more stable, actually. Hell, we're setting the standard for stable rocketness. 27 kilometers, and we're getting up there. I am not going to try turning this thing. Hell no. No siree, there is no way you'll get me to turn this. I am on my way. I should maybe throttle back a little, now I think about it. I don't know what kind of acceleration... Oh, look! There's the stars! You shouldn't be able to see the stars during daytime like that. No, because there's too much light coming from the planet below. If you remember a famous picture of Bruce McCandless on EVA using the MMU, he's like floating just like out in space on his own. Notice, you cannot in fact see any stars in that photo. You know why? Because there's the planet Earth is in the same shot as well, and it's too darn bright. That does not stop conspiracy theorists from pointing out that there are no stars visible on the Apollo shots on the moon. Because there shouldn't be. Right, okay, now let's see if I can start firing to go sideways. Come on. You know you want to. We're gonna start trying to pick up lateral velocity here. We're just gonna go sideways. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, we'll just lock it in that position. And you know what? I'm going to turn off my RCS because I don't think I need it anymore. And just trying to figure out what the best way to go about this is. Oh, come on, almost there. Orbital velocity is getting pretty darn high. 17,800, 1,800, 1,900, 2,500. I think I might get to orbit with this thing. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my thrust there. We're so close. I'm just going to set a maneuver node there. And that'll be me. Well, let's get it slightly higher, because we do have parachutes attached. Okay, so we need 154 meters per second. I believe I may have found my solution at last. God, that was awful, 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 awful. Maybe I think I should go back to the jet engines, because I just couldn't figure out how to make the jet... Oh, wow, they're still kind of floating there like that. The jet engines are the way to go, because they're, you know, the most efficient. Okay, I need to point at the 90-degree mark. Oh, that's what I need to do. Yes. 18 seconds. I just need 2 seconds of fuel burn, and we are set. And I will be in orbit, and I will be able to hold my head up high, at least somewhat. It's... I mean, you see comments about how I was going to do this with, like, 5 parts. I'm like, no, I'm not that good. Hey, excellent. And I'm in orbit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Oh my god, that was one of the hardest and most annoying challenges I've done in a long time. And I still have the harderest mode to do. Well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my trials and tribulations and terrible, terrible singing. I will continue on with other things. I'll be back with more reusable space program over the weekend. But until next time, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.